Coming up, we're talking about one of my very favorite parks. It's Epcot. We're talking about the right way to do it. And we just feel like if you don't like Epcot, you're probably misunderstanding Epcot. So listen on and find out what you might be doing wrong or what you could do a little better to make sure your Epcot experience is as flawless as we know it can be. Also, don't forget about our giveaway. We are so excited to be spreading our love to the Smarties, and all of the details are in the episode. Keep listening. Enter away and let us sprinkle some Disney magic into your life. It has the least to offer family fun.
Which is why they need Pinocchio.
I don't know if that's going to draw a whole lot of people, like you keep saying, but
Hey y'all, it's LJ here, owner and founder of Smart Moms Plan Disney and Smart Moms Travel. We are so glad you're here for another episode of the Smart Moms Plan Disney podcast. Now, here's your host, Allie.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Smart Moms Plan Disney podcast. We are planning Katie's day today. She just told us that immediately following this recording with Becki, Katie, and myself, we're going to talk Epcot, and then she's going to Epcot. So this is super fun. Good morning, Becki, Katie. How are you girls?
I'm doing really well. I'm excited because, like you said, we're going to Epcot right after this. Test Track is really high on my girls' list, but I'm excited for what we're going to dig into today.
And I am so excited because I think this is a full circle moment because as we've talked about on the podcast, all of us have kind of evolved in something in Disney over the last, 2.5 years. And I dare say that when we started this, Katie was anti-Team Epcot.
1,000%.
She was like, we walk around World Showcase and it's just not for me.
This is so true. On our first trip, we did a day in Epcot, and I was like, we will never come back to Epcot again.
You're one of those people that needed to know how to do it the right way because you were just floundering about.
I think we're going to talk about it more in the episode, but I did the let's walk the loop to see what there is without exploring, and that really kind of shot Epcot for me. I was like, oh, if this is what Epcot is, then I don't really care. But also, that was before friendship boats, and I had 3 little kids, and that didn't help me either. But now the friendship boats are back, so there you go.
Yeah, exactly. The friendship boats are the best. Before we start talking about Epcot, and I feel like every time we talk about this park, no matter how we're talking about it, I feel like it's just so much. There is so much to cover when it comes to Epcot. But before we dive in, this isn't even a does it happen to you, because I know it happens to you. But you know when you get served ads and things in your feed on social media that are maybe you were just talking about it, or I swear at this point it's just I think about it. And I'm like, I don't think I voiced that. And then all of a sudden it's an ad in my feed on my social media.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All I've been getting lately are these ads for the Backstreet Boys playing at the Sphere in Las Vegas. And, the 90s are having this massive resurgence, right? In music and in television. You're getting reboots of literally everything. 90s bands are back on tour. And I'm usually one to like pull the trigger and do things. And I didn't buy tickets to go see Backstreet Boys at the Sphere. And they're one of those bands that are like too big to play the pavilion at Epcot. But not big enough to I thought the price of the ticket was a little high, to be honest, but it is the Sphere. So anyway, I didn't buy it, but I've been now seeing all these videos because now it's happening, and I'm kind of disappointed I didn't. I don't know.
I was like, so Allie's going to go buy tickets as soon as we're done.
No, because it requires a concert ticket, a plane ticket, a resort stay. Like it's not close. It's a whole trip. So,
oh yeah.
I mean, if they were coming here, definitely. I don't know. Who did you like in high school that you would drop $1 on still to go see?
You know what literally kills me? So many of you said too big to go to Epcot, right? So with that in mind, I'm like, who do I love from high school that's not too big to go to Epcot? And I feel like what leaning into Epcot is they start pulling things when they start becoming the oldies. And my high school bands are starting to show up at Epcot regularly now.
Oh no.
98 Degrees, Hanson. That was my jam. I loved Backstreet Boys, but 98 Degrees was my boy band. I loved it. And
what?
Backstreet Boys are by far too big to play in the US Pavilion, but live music, oh, give me that, please. What about Alanis Morissette? Do you think she would be too big?
She's way too big. Are you kidding me? Alanis is way too big. But you know who's not? One of my all-time favorite songs, a one-hit wonder from the 90s that is still hanging on as one of my all-time favorite songs. Torn by Natalie Imbruglia.
Natalie Imbruglia.
I love that song. That song still hits. I will karaoke that song. I love it. And I'm telling you what, if she showed up at Eat to the Beat and was singing Torn in the American Pavilion, that would be the most out of body experience I can maybe. I mean, that would just be
More so than Barbie.
no, well, Barbie was it, you guys. If they want to do a 90s, although they couldn't even do it now because Barbie has hit back. Barbie's too big to play the US Pavilion.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Wait, Barbie is in like Aqua or what do you mean?
No, I think you mean because I went to see Barbie,
Yeah.
the doll Barbie at Epcot. Yeah, which was
Yes. Whenever Allie was a child and she saw Barbie the stage show at Epcot.
and I loved
Oh my
it. And
gosh, that's
I
funny.
still think about it, but I think Barbie's too big to play that pavilion now with her
That's
movie.
too funny.
Yeah.
So when we're thinking the US Pavilion, we're thinking people who at this point wouldn't sell out a stadium, but they might sell out a small venue, right? That's who we're typically talking about.
Could Hootie and the Blowfish go? Do they go? Have they already gone?
I don't think so, but I feel like they're too big.
You
They're
think?
too big. I struggle with this so hard, you guys. I'm really bad at knowing music for the most part. I was gonna say Hootie and the Blowfish would maybe be good, but they're too big. I also think the same thing about Weezer. Weezer would be another one, but they're also too big. They're still touring, right?
Yeah.
But those were before my high school years, like by a long time. I'm like Kesha, Lady Gaga, Usher, and those are all like way too big.
Did you say Lady Gaga?
I did say Lady Gaga.
That's like too big by a million.
A mile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am going to see her this summer. That is a concert ticket I did actually push
Ugh.
purchase on.
Ooh.
By the way, Becki, did you know that 98 Degrees is from here?
Yes, I think you and I have talked about it because I
Yeah.
seriously love them. I had every album. I was definitely like that weird person when everyone's like, Backstreet Boys are NSYNC, and I'm like 98 Degrees and 5.
Oh God.
Mm.
So what you're saying is it's better that we became friends as adults because we would not have.
Yeah, because you were more 98 Degrees, right?
Me? No.
Yeah. I mean,
no.
sorry. You were more NSYNC.
Yes.
Yes. But Backstreet Boys and NSYNC both have, I think at this point I'm far enough away because we're what, 20, 25 years away from them?
I think it's more back.
Oh, that's so painful. But
This is so funny.
but I'm to the point that it's far enough that I could tell you like 5 NSYNC songs and 5 Backstreet Boys songs, and the rest are like, this is NSYNC or Backstreet Boys.
No, I was hardcore boy band and Spice Girls, like the three of them in just, that was my trifecta of childhood music and like Christina Aguilera. None of them are going to be Garden Rocks level though. They were all too big.
I don't know. Christina Aguilera she's sang Disney songs though. You don't think they could pull on that?
Yeah.
No.
No.
This is such an interesting conversation. I hope Smarties that are listening right now that are like moms in the car drop off line because school's about to be back in session are like, oh, I know I'm old when my favorite music from childhood is playing Epcot.
I was
Good
thinking
stuff.
about what's going to be that from my kids' childhood. Like I'm thinking about when I was a young mom, what songs were hitting really, really deep. Like McKenna danced multiple songs, had choreography to Call Me Maybe by Carly Rae Jepsen. And I could see her being there. I could see that.
Yeah, but Becki, Carly Rae Jepsen never hit it big. She had that one song that was kind of big for one summer. And then that was it.
Kind of big for one summer.
Here's the thing though. I was listening to Sean and I were driving down the road yesterday, and there was an Andy Grammer song that came on the radio. And we were like, we both like this song. What else does he sing? We could not come up with another thing that he sang. Then I went and like got on Spotify, looked up Andy Grammer, and I went through his top 10 songs. Scan. Oh, yeah, we know this. Oh, yeah, we know this too. And I feel like every time we go to Epcot, that's what happens is we go expecting one song we love. And then they play their set and we're like, I knew all of those songs. I just didn't know that I knew those songs.
Yeah, that happens. I feel like that happens a lot. You said that happens for you at Epcot though?
Yes, at Epcot.
I was going to say, I'll go to like a show and I'll think, oh, I don't really know this artist that well. And then I know a lot, but I don't know if it's ever happened to me at Epcot, but I also haven't seen a lot of shows at Epcot. I would have never thought that like Boys to Men would become small enough to play the US Pavilion, but they did. So, you never know.
You never know.
It's going to be fun over the next 10 years, I'd say, to see who pops up at the Garden Rocks
Oh my
concert.
word.
And they're gonna have to swap them out, right? They're
Yeah.
some of these older ones. Like we've seen some pretty old bands play at the Garden Rocks and Eat to the Beat, and they're gonna have to fill slots as those people are just truly getting too old to be performing still. But
Yeah.
there are some that are of those oldies that I grew up that were my parents' music. And that's what I love about it is if you grow up listening to your parents' music, you can go and still appreciate some of those older people who aren't necessarily your generation. However, I don't know if that's going to be true for my kids because when we get in the car, everyone kind of gets to listen to their own music at this point. So I don't know that my kids are growing up with my music.
That's true. And not only that, well, we're not there yet because my kids aren't like popping in their own like headphones every time we drive. But that is a very interesting point for somebody that has teens. And the other thing I'm thinking is they're all just growing up with Taylor Swift, and I don't think she's ever going to be small enough to play.
She's never
Nope.
going to be small enough. They would have to sell out the entire park and put it on a Jumbotron.
Yeah.
Clear until she's 80. I think it would still be the case. She's going to be that.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, now we're excited about finding out the next 10 years of performers at Epcot over the next 10 years. But today we're going to dive in and talk about your day to day, every day, how you could do Epcot in the best way. Because this is a misunderstood park. We're going to talk a little bit more about that because we always like to remind people about that and then talk about the ways you can make sure you are approaching it like an expert. Hey Smarties, did you know that just by listening to this ad, you can save on renting baby equipment from the #1 baby gear rental service across the US, Canada, and beyond? Of course, I'm talking about BabyQuip. When we're traveling, it is just life in a new place, but I don't have beds for my babies or even a high chair for them to eat in. And when we don't have our things, we do not have our rhythm, and it can make it really difficult to enjoy our vacation. Look no further than BabyQuip. With a wide range of baby and toddler equipment available, including cribs, strollers, car seats, toys, and more. BabyQuip helps give us some of that normalcy our kiddos crave and the peace of mind we need. When they are happy, we are happy. All products follow strict cleanliness and safety protocols, and they are there to ensure that you can really enjoy your vacation. Whether at a home, a hotel, a vacation rental, or whatever you're calling home for your vacation, you never have to worry. If you need it, they have it. BabyQuip is available in over 1,500 cities, making it accessible. So whether you're going to Disney World or Disneyland or some other travel destination, BabyQuip will have you covered. They have an easy-to-use online platform for quick reservations and easy customer support. So head to babyquip.com and use the code SMPOD, that's SMPOD, you can save $30 off of any order of $150 or more. That's SMPOD at babyquip.com. Pack light, travel happy. Welcome back. Before we jump back into today's conversation, let's talk about this new giveaway that we, the Smart Moms Plan Disney podcast team, are hosting. If you are a smarty who always listens to our podcast, you know we've always tucked a little bit of extra magic into every episode. We are talking about the hidden Mickeys, those fun code words we sneak into each episode. And so many of you are always asking what they're for and if we'll ever consider including you. And now we are. Here's your chance to turn those hidden Mickeys into a little extra magic for your next Disney vacation. We're giving away a $500 Disney gift card to one Smarty just for listening. That's right, $500 to a Smarty just for listening like you already are. So here's how you're going to enter. Listen to the latest episode on Spotify to find this week's Hidden Mickey, and then submit the episode title and the Hidden Mickey code word in the submission form found in today's show notes. That's it. Just like that, and you can have 500 extra magical Disney dollars coming your way in the form of a gift card. But that's not all. You can also go back and listen to older episodes that are archived right there in our Spotify library and submit those Hidden Mickey and episode titles too. Each correct code word equals one more entry to win. The more you listen, the better your chances to win one of our prizes, including that grand prize of a $500 Disney gift card. You can find all the details and the submission form in today's show notes. Epcot as a park and just all of the basics, right before we started recording, we were talking and highlighting a point that Katie has told her story a million times in the podcast, right? She was a family from the Midwest. They went to Disney once. They fell in love. They moved to Florida. It's not
Midwest. Hold the phone. Northeast. Thank you.
Sorry. That's right. I'm sorry. There's Pittsburgh people. I'm sorry.
Ah.
And so not the typical story. Now she's beyond an expert. Now she basically lives in the park. She went yesterday, she's going today. She goes all the time. But that first trip was just like your average Smartie. It was just a mom trying to plan this trip. I've never been. I've got these kids. I want it to be perfect. Well, we may never go back. I'm on every mommy blog. I'm on every website. She's on the Smart Moms, talking through, figuring it out. And she went to Epcot. And Katie, what happened?
So we went to Epcot and we had a terrible time.
Yeah.
This was before Guardians of the Galaxy. I believe we did ride Test Track that first time, but our entire day was just walking through the heat. They hadn't brought back the friendship boats yet. Like you literally just had to walk the full circle of World Showcase. There's no shortcuts. And we have two strollers. We have a double stroller, we have a single stroller, and we're just trying to make it. And I don't know. We had a terrible time, but we set ourselves up to have a terrible time because this is where I really learned that you needed to slow down and explore to enjoy Epcot because I did it so wrong the first time. Matt and I were literally moving down here, and he was like, "We don't have to actually go to Epcot, do we?" And I was like, "I think we need to give Epcot another try just to see." And now it's like our favorite park, right?
Yeah.
But you have to do Epcot the right way or you will end up hating it, okay? And so the way to not hate Epcot is to actually take the time to just go at your own pace, slow it down, enjoy a drink, go catch this show that's happening in Japan. Take time to slow down and explore what each country has to enjoy, and you're gonna love Epcot.
Katie, when you came for your first time, were all of the walls were still up, right?
Yeah.
So the park was still very segmented at the time.
Yeah, there's a lot of Epcot that I feel like gets referred to often that I don't have any context for, right? Our first trip was in September of 2021, and so I never saw illuminations. People talk about that center area where the Walt statue is now and how different that is. I'm like, I don't got the context for it.
Mm. Like back in the
Yeah.
day when Club Cool was in the center area.
I
Yeah,
have
it was
no
it was
idea what you're talking about.
it was what used to be at the end
Hmm.
of Soarin'. So you were seeing it without seeing it. But now Soarin's been updated to the new beautiful world celebration.
Yeah.
Club Cool was at the end of Soarin'.
Well, you could see it in the video. It wasn't like actually there, but you could see it
Oh,
as you were going over the world
The
celebration
ride.
area.
oh,
She's
I
talking
see what you're
about the
saying.
ride. Yeah, yeah. Like the video of Epcot in the ride you could
That is
see.
so interesting. Okay.
So we're going to talk about this in the way that what people consider the highlights and what they think of when they think of all of these areas in Epcot and in this park. And then kind of flip the script and say what we recommend that you not overlook in each of these areas, sort of in a this, not that style, like we did for Magic Kingdom. We're going to talk about rides, food, shopping, snacks, and try to give you the best overview that we can so that you know how to not leave Epcot saying you're never going to go back, because that would be tragic.
Truly.
First of all, this is the most accessible park, right? You can get to this park with 5 kinds of transportation: bus, monorail, Skyliner, boat, or foot. You can walk there from some. So, depending on where you're staying, you may have multiple options. There is a world where you have 2 options of how you want to get there, maybe even 3. Wouldn't really make sense to use a third, maybe, but there are just a lot of different ways to get to Epcot depending on where you are staying, which is really cool.
It's the only park that has all 5, actually, right? Because
Right.
Hollywood Studios,
It just doesn't have the monorail.
but the only one that has monorail and
Mhm.
Skyliner is Epcot.
Yeah, and the cool thing is it's also the only park that has 2 entrances. So depending on where you're staying, you're either coming in the back of the park or the front, which just really helps with rope drop because you're not so congested with every single person that's visiting the park that day. You're divided out into 2 different areas of points of entry. So that is really nice and that really helps, as well as leaving after the fireworks at night if you choose to stay for the firework that night.
You're going to stay for the fireworks because they're amazing.
Then you're gonna have a much easier time leaving because you're gonna have 2 exits, just the way you had 2 entrances. So most accessible by far. We're going to kind of for purposes of this conversation, the international gate, my favorite way to get into Epcot. I think y'all's as well, maybe. I just like it for the convenience, privacy, exclusivity, quietness. Like, I just think it rises above in those convenient points. I do like the main gates, though, for seeing Spaceship Earth and walking through, but it's not my personal favorite way to enter. But if you've never been to Disney before, if it's your first trip to Epcot, there is something really special. Like, we just went to, not to get too off topic, but we just went to Disneyland. And out in Disneyland, you can take the monorail straight into Disneyland Park. That's how theirs works. And we were staying right by the monorail entrance. And our first day, we had the choice. Do we want to take the monorail into the park and it will drop you off in Tomorrowland? Or do we want to walk through downtown Disney and enter the park? And we chose to walk, which was farther and less convenient because I didn't want to miss that kind of castle moment when you first enter the park there. I would say it's like similar. That kind of taps into similarly what I'm saying here. If you've never been, getting that moment of entry to Spaceship Earth is really special. But anytime after that, if you've been before, especially, International Gate is quiet and convenient, and I love it so much.
I do love entering through the back gate of Epcot whenever you can. Like if you're staying on the skyline or in that boardwalk area, that is totally great, especially if you want to rope drop Remy, right? But for me, there's literally nothing better than walking through the front gates at Epcot. I'm not even kidding you. We can drive, the 45-minute, 1 hour drive, and my kids can be cranky and fussing in the back seat. And I can be like at the end of my rope whenever we get to the parking lot. And then as soon as we get through security and you walk in and you start hearing the music, I instantly get chills every time. And I'm like, I'm in my place.
I feel the same way. And there's something unique about Epcot's front gate. I do personally love the back, but it's because I've been to Epcot so many times that I love the simplicity of coming in the back from the boardwalk, my favorite area in all of Disney World. But coming in the front, the parking is so much easier at Epcot than I feel most parks. You're so close to the front. And you're so right, Katie. That soundtrack it just feels like the soundtrack of Spaceship Earth when you're walking in. It's so good.
I have Instagram messaged Pinar Toprak, who wrote the music for that, and personally thanked her for writing that.
Love it.
Yeah, it's really special. I think part of the reason, and I hope today's episode helps, part of the reason people may leave with a misunderstanding of the park is that it can be really overwhelming. If you don't have a plan or an understanding of the layout, the offerings, a game plan of how you're going to attack them, which is what we're going to help you with today, it can be so overwhelming. And that's going to lead us into our first sort of this, not that. It can really be easy to see Spaceship Earth and see the line and just hop in line and do it. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. First of all, there's a huge value to rope drop hour or 30 minutes or whatever you want to call it in this park, in my opinion, that will enhance your day and your ability to go slower later if you do it right early. And Spaceship Earth is not going to be that.
Yeah, I think it might be helpful for us to talk about the 4 different areas of Epcot when we're talking about coming in, especially this front gate by Spaceship Earth, which is the big golf ball, right?
Right.
So when you're coming into World Celebration. If you go to the left, you're heading over to World Discovery. If you go to the right, you're going to World Nature. And then, of course, we have World Showcase, which is the big lagoon surrounded by a whole bunch of pavilions that you can go explore.
Yeah, which is, again, one of those things that can be really overwhelming if you don't know what's right, what's left, what's center. You know what I mean? And so...
or what's even in each of those areas, right? And so I think we can break that down today and help it feel a lot more digestible and better understood. And these things aren't necessarily where you would always visualize them. When we were preparing for this, I was learning things. Like, I didn't realize that Figment is part of World Celebration. I didn't realize that some of these lines on the map have been adjusted based on more recent updates of where things are landing within the common discussion of lands in Epcot.
Yeah, so World Celebration is sort of that entry point, right? And it's the center hub that's going to send you off your different ways. And it kind of is a big connector area. Do you feel that World Discovery, which is off to your left from the main gate, and World Nature, which we will talk about, is off to your right, do you feel like those are kind of far apart? I think they're deceivingly far, personally.
I feel like it's about a 5 to 10-minute walk between the two of them. I think that if you were walking from one to the other, you could probably get there relatively easily now that the walls are down.
Yeah.
But when those walls were up,
Hmm.
it felt like a trek. It was
Yeah.
Yeah, the
it was
walls are
so far.
terrible.
Mhm.
You can walk through that area now that's over by where, like, the Walt statue is, and it's not
Right.
too bad of a walk.
Yeah, I guess for me, I always just feel like if I'm over at Guardians and I need to get to Soren, I'm like that always I feel like it's a lot closer than it is, which is why strategy really matters. Okay, so we're going to talk about World Celebration first, which is that main central hub that's going to be what you see. I already said you're going to see Spaceship Earth. You're going to get pictures right there in front. It's so beautiful, but you're not just going to hop right in line for Spaceship Earth. You're going to come back later in the day because that wait later in the day is going to be non-existent.
Yeah. And I think this is actually a really good place for us to plug. We're not necessarily talking today about an itinerary. We're talking
Hmm.
more about the structure of the park and what
Yes.
you should not be doing. So if you are interested on how you should set your day up, go listen to our itinerary episode because we have several that would be really helpful in that piece.
Yeah, this is not necessarily the order you should be doing it, running to this ride. This is what you do in this hour. This is just what each area of the park has to offer and making sure you do it and experience it the right way. So
Mhm.
you're going to come back to World Celebration later. You're not going to be hustling through there in the early morning hour because the days in the parks are so long. And like Katie mentioned earlier, experiencing Epcot in a more leisure way where you go at a pace that's calming. World Celebration has seating and beauty and calm areas that have now been built in. And when you're in that midday exhaustion period, that's when you're going to come back. And that's when you're going to enjoy some of that time. The wait for Spaceship Earth is probably going to be low, and you're going to see a lot of other things going on. Talk about, Becki, some of the other stuff that's going on in World Celebration that you can experience probably later in the day.
Yeah. So if character meet and greets are important to you, the Mickey and Friends meet and greet area is there, which is a fantastic break in your day. You get into some air conditioning, you get some really good character interactions. There's also really good shopping here. I think that Creation shop is among my very favorite Disney shops. If I was to compare Creations and World of Disney and Disney Springs, I think I would choose Creations. I just love that shopping venue. The Connections Cafe and Eatery are there, aka a Starbucks is there. There's the festival
Mhm.
favorites area at the Communicore Hall and Plaza that changes what's happening there. During the art festival, we all went in there. Do you all remember what was inside of that Communicore when we were there for the art festival?
The Broadway costumes and props.
Yes.
Oh, it's so good.
That's
So
like my
good.
one of my favorite things I've ever seen at Epcot.
Communicore Hall really impresses me. It's this building that they just opened, and it's so easy for you to just walk by and not see what's happening in there. And there is always really cool things
Hmm.
happening in there. So we talked about the Broadway thing. That was amazing, by the way, seeing all the different props and costumes and everything. Right now, for Cool Kids Summer, it's this goofy Communicore
Mhm.
Hall thing. They brought in Candyland style carpeting to fit what they're doing with Goofy in there. You can meet Goofy in there. There's like a DJ dance party. My kids, they want to go and spend 40 minutes running around, playing with hula hoops, meeting Goofy, dancing in Communicore
Hmm.
Hall. And they're like, this is the best day ever.
When Communicore Hall opened, there was so many influencers who went and they're like, this is a lost identity. What even is this? But Disney knew where they were going with this. And it's this inside air conditioned space that gets to jump from one thing to the next every
Yeah,
festival, every time that's going on. And I actually stepped into that goofy dance party, just Sean and I, when I was there last week. And there were parents dancing with their kids to Goofy movie soundtrack. I was like,
amazing.
oh my gosh.
I love
And it's
that.
one of those things, that's
Yes.
the heart of this episode, right? It's one of those things where you see World Celebration and you're like, oh, here's my checklist of Epcot. Got to go ride Spaceship Earth and run along. No, 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 no,
No,
no,
no,
no.
no.
You're missing the point. You're missing the
Yep.
point. And, you're saying Cool Kids Summer, this is what it is. By the time Smarties are planning their trips, it could be months down the road when they're hearing this. And there is very likely no longer Goofy in there, but something equally as impressive and cool. I
Yes.
could have stayed in the art exhibit, which they chose the Broadway stuff. I could have stayed in there. You were all dragging me out. Like I turned around, you're all standing by the door, like, no rush, Allie, but like we're ready when you are. I'm like, I could stay here forever. I love it. And the fact that it's something new every time means that this park is never getting old.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
On that costuming piece, I think especially at this point, now that Macy's doing her college Disney program
Hmm.
or her Disney college program, I wish so badly that I had taken more time to explore
Yeah.
that because I do love Broadway. But now Macy's actually doing the costuming at Disney. And I'm like, she's telling me things that I'm just like, oh, this is so, so incredibly cool. But also, do not rope drop these in World Celebration.
No.
But if you're looking for a way to get out of the heat midday, going over and sitting in the Pixar Film Festival, you think, I don't want to go and watch Pixar films, but it's a 4D ride, like your seats move. It's kind of cool if you're looking for a way to get out of the heat. And then, of course, Journey into Imagination with Figment is also in that area. And then Club Cool. Go try the Beverly.
Yeah.
Beverly is a rite of passage.
Beverly is a rite of passage. What I think this is World Celebration is your midday break from the heat, break from the walking. We needed to relax and go at a slower pace. And you don't do Beverly until the end of that relaxation because you're probably feeling sick from the heat. And if you go straight to Beverly, things are not going to go well for you.
No, actually, I think you hit this area at nighttime. And
Night is
here's
fine too.
why. Yeah.
Any break time is fine, just not morning.
There's this light show that's happening with Spaceship Earth and those walkways that are by the Walt statue and these, I don't know what you call them, like the lightsaber beams of light
Mhm.
things, but it's called Beacons of Magic. And it is that music that I love so much. And oh, it's just all the feels.
You know what's crazy is, Allie, you called this a hub, and I've never thought about World Celebration as a hub, but it kind of is. There's a
Yeah.
branch to discovery, a branch
Mhm.
to nature, and a branch to the world. And of
Mhm.
course, the world is its own circle,
Yeah.
but it really is like
Mhm.
there's even like hub grass kind of areas.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that
Mhm.
take on it. Very cool.
Yeah.
And don't leave World Celebration without getting a picture with Walt at the Walt
Mm.
statue.
It's the worst picture lighting Disney could have ever imagined. I have yet to take at night, it's lit up so you can still take the statue is gorgeous and it's lined up with Spaceship Earth so you can get like a really nice Epcot moment. And there's usually a photo pass photographer. I have daytime pictures up there and they're really pretty.
Mhm.
If you try at night, it's the worst lighting Disney could have ever imagined. It's uplit, it's terrible. It looks like you're trying to tell a ghost story,
Mhm,
but go get it
mhm.
anyway, you know. Just go get your scary ghost picture, you know, in the evening.
Right.
It's bizarre.
It'll be a good story either way.
I don't know what Disney was thinking with that, but it is a really beautiful little area for a photo op. So I've done it multiple times. I know y'all have as well. So World Celebration, that's exactly what it is. That's what it's offering. It's not the biggest draw, but it is one of the reasons you're going to feel like maybe you do love Epcot and want to come back. Yeah.
Yes. Mhm.
All right, let's talk about World Discovery. World Discovery was known for and home to Mission Space pretty much only. It wasn't even World Discovery then, but sort of that area of the park. It has Mission Space and it's more, you know, the futuristic discovery area of the park, right? As Epcot has formed even this more broad identity in what it's offering. Mission Space, not really where it's at for me anymore. And I think this area has really grown past Mission Space, though it's still there.
Mhm.
This is probably the area of the park that most people are coming to Epcot to ride for,
Absolutely.
right? This has all the heavy hitters. We got Guardians, we got Test Track, I mean, and Mission Space, right? I don't think that people are going out of their way for Mission Space. Unless you're the Boone kids. My kids, like, the minute we walk in, we got to go do Mission Space.
I also think people that, you know, if you're not a smarty listening to this podcast, I think there are people out there that are just, I'm going to Disney to hit the rides, and Mission Space is a high priority. And you run to this area, and I do think this is a good rope drop area.
Everybody and their mother is rope dropping Guardians.
As they probably should. You know, that is my strategy as well. If I'm coming from the front, I know we're not talking itinerary today, but if I'm coming from the back, I'm not doing that. But if I'm coming from the front, I am.
Mhm.
I think that's just an important note. If you're entering the front, World Discovery is a pretty great
Mhm.
place to start your day.
Mhm.
And it's probably going to start at Guardians, although with Test Track opening, I think it's going to be really interesting to see what people do.
Mhm. Mhm.
I mean, I know I would go to Guardians. Test Track reopening does not change that for me at all.
I love Test Track, and we got to go to the preview, and it was incredible. But the flaw with Test Track is still that if it's raining, they're going to shut it down. And
Yeah.
so I feel like if the weather is good, go get in for Test Track, and Guardians will still be there after.
I completely agree because I haven't actually gotten to ride Test Track yet since it reopened because we got in line
Mm.
twice and the weather shut it down twice. So it's so defeating. So if the weather is good, in fact, I would recommend having a radar app on your phone because weather in Orlando is crazy. But
Hmm.
getting on Test Track is probably a good idea. I personally think I would rope drop Guardians as well because if you're going to go on one ride in Epcot,
In Disney World.
Yeah.
Guardians has to be it. Here's the struggle though. Do you rope the struggle that a lot of families have is if you're rope dropping, do you rope drop and you have little kids and tell them they can't go on a ride right off the bat? That is a struggle.
I know.
Yeah,
I
that's
know.
really hard.
If we're talking strategy for rope drop, there are so many variations, which we have talked about in our itinerary episode. Rope dropping at Epcot is so dependent on where you're staying
Mhm.
and who you're traveling with because there are really three right answers to me. You know, it's going to be some combination of Remy,
Mhm.
Frozen, or Guardians. And I think the answer lives in where you're staying and who you're with. For me, for my family, Guardians makes sense and is where we would want to be. To your point, Katie, which was a great pro tip about the weather and monitoring that, it's important also to know that while not everybody's going to be thinking that strategically,
Hmm.
just the reality will be that if Test Track goes down for weather, a lot of those people are then going to line up for Guardians. So
Yep.
you're going to have a massive line for Guardians then. And if you didn't rope drop it, now you're waiting in that weather line. So
Yeah.
if the rain shuts down Test Track, it's
Mhm.
screwing up everything. And that
It's true.
happens a lot.
I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, if there's rain and lightning happening around Epcot, I'm pretty sure Test Track is the only ride in the entire park that gets shut down. I don't think anything else is affected by it.
It's all indoor attractions.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny because Test Track is this whole ride about car safety and things, and they can't run it in the
They
weather.
don't have good enough sticky wheels.
They don't have 4-wheel drive or whatever.
They should change their tires on their vehicles.
All right, so I'm rope dropping guards. We kind of talked through that strategy a little bit. Mission space. It just we've beat that dead on this podcast. I think if you got a strong iron stomach, go for it.
Well, hold the
Otherwise,
phone. I don't like that side. I don't like orange, but we do green.
I was gonna say otherwise, do green. I think it's skippable both, but maybe not if it's your once in a lifetime only trip. But we also know that that isn't really a thing. Most people are going back.
I want to say if you have little kids, that Mission Space Green is a really good thing. And then there's a really cool
Yeah.
playground at the end of the
Yeah.
ride.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe if you have little kids, you could, go hang out there while you're doing the rider swap. If you're gonna rope drop Guardians of the Galaxy, one of you take the kid over to
Yeah.
Mission
It's a
Space,
great
right?
tip.
That's the way you
That's
do
a
it.
great tip. Absolutely. If you're rope dropping Guardians because you don't want to buy the single pass and you have little kids, that's a really good tip. Go play in Mission Space, rider swap, get it done.
Yep.
Oh, Sean and I were listening to an Imagineers interview, and even the Imagineer is like, you get told 9 times from the time you get in line until the time you're on the ride that you are going to be spinning, you're going to get sick, and people still get on the ride and
Hmm.
get mad that they get sick while they're on the ride. Like, if there is any point that you think you might get sick from spinning or motion sickness, just skip the ride. Do not ruin your day.
I have said many times this is the only ride at Disney that tells you not to ride it. There's a reason why there are not a lot of astronauts.
Matt and I actually have rope dropped Mission Space Orange before to just do it together. And I did it intentionally for rope drop, so I didn't have anything in my stomach. maybe that's the strategy. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, we're never going to get out of an Epcot episode without talking about Mission Space. And at the very least, it's going to be an unforgettable experience for you when you ride it. And for any Smart Moms travel agents listening today, the Hidden Mickey will be unforgettable. Yeah, so that's World Discovery's identity to me now lives in Guardians. That's what that area is to me.
Yeah.
Space 220 as a restaurant, as a lounge, I really like it. It's a really fun experience. If you have kiddos that are into space, especially cool. It probably, and I think I've said this before, is a one and done as a full meal for me. I've been up to the lounge a few times,
Yeah.
but it's a pretty pricey meal and
Yeah.
a pretty long
I agree.
experience.
If you have a space loving anybody in your family,
You gotta make time for it.
go. It's very worth it.
All right, let's talk then across the way there, not really that far away, World Nature. That is the other area in the front half of the park, I would say, when you're accessing from main gates. These are the three areas that we've already talked about, World Nature being the other one. So when you're thinking about World Nature, it has one big draw, I think. A lot of the views that we're talking about today, I think are from the vantage point of people that are planning trips and they have that rides checklist. And we've always talked about
Mhm.
how that's just the wrong way to attack any park and any strategy is just what's headlining attraction, let me run to it. And for those people, of which there are many, World Nature becomes the area where Soarin' is,
Mhm.
right? And it's so much more than that. You don't want to skip Soarin'. I'm not here to say that's wrong. I think it is the best thing over here, but it is certainly not the only thing over
Mhm.
here.
There is so much to love in World Nature. Absolutely. We got the Soarin' ride, which is also a rite of passage. There's so many great things going on in Epcot, you guys. You have Soarin', you have Living with the Land,
Mhm.
which Becki and I are both fans of. Stacy too.
Me too. And it's Zan, it's my wife's favorite attraction ever of all time. Loves it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
Zan does love it too. Yeah. Okay. Living with the Land, you got, I mean, that's just in the land pavilion. You go over to the sea pavilion, you got the Seas with Nemo, you got Turtle Talk with Crush, and that's where the new Moana Journey of Water area is too. So there's a lot happening over in World Nature. And my favorite Mickey meal, Garden Grill. Oh my gosh, you guys, I have to tell you, listen, my family goes to Garden Grill probably more often than most families, okay? I picked up a last minute reservation for Garden Grill and it was going to be the first reservation of the day. It was 8:30 a.m., okay? We went for breakfast and I don't know if you guys know this. If you're the first table seated of the day, they will sit you at a particular table and they'll say, "Hey, we're going to get your drinks and everything, but we have something special that we do for the first family of the day in Garden Grill." They sat us down. They waited until the point where your table lines up because the restaurant slowly rotates, right? They waited until it rotated to the point of where our table lined up with the door where all of the characters come out. And they're like, "We want you to meet all four characters at once, and we're going to get a picture with all of them." And I was like, this is the greatest day ever. And I got to do it with my girls, and it was the greatest
It
thing
is
ever.
pretty
Okay,
cool.
all
It's
right, I'm
really
done.
cool. And I don't know if any other, I don't know if this is right or wrong, but I don't know if any other Mickey meal does anything like that for their first seat of the day.
I don't know if any restaurants do that, but
Oh, it was
other
so good.
Disney things do that. Like if you're the first person to ride the Winnie the Pooh ride, I think you get to sign like a book. Like there Disney knows how to pay homage to things that are the firsts.
There's a guest book at Tower of Terror, and I don't know how to sign it yet, but I got to get my name in the guest book. I don't know if it's like a first ride or what, but I got to figure it out. Okay. So, World Nature in Epcot is about more than Soarin'. And it's interesting because we're saying this, not that, right? The thing that you think of is Soarin', and we're not saying don't do Soarin', like by a
Mhm.
lot. You have to do Soarin'. It's one of the greatest things in Epcot. But what I am saying is please don't mistake this area for a run in, do
Mhm.
Soarin', and then dip out. Take the time,
Yeah.
Journey of Water, Turtle Talk with Crush. You're going to get right in. And if you have little ones, especially hilarious, so fun, core memory type stuff. I told you about when
Mhm.
Crush said Who Day. You know, it's great. And then the aquarium. When my son was little, he was so into
Mm.
sharks, as most little boys are. You know, maybe a lot of little girls are too. I don't didn't mean to insinuate that, but my son in particular was, and just going in there, and they had the big shark head, and I mean, he just loved it. It was great.
I think this area
Mm.
of world nature in general is a really great area for littles. Like littles can do most things here
So
Mhm.
good.
except Soren, right? And Soren even has a somewhat low height requirement with the strap to be
Yeah.
able to buckle in.
One of my twins hit the height before the
Mhm.
other, and it was a whole thing. It was very sad, and we let her ride, but he couldn't.
That's so
It's
devastating.
happened 3 times to them now.
That's terrible. There's another really good rider swap situation happening there as well. So if you have kids that are tall enough to go ride Soren, then the other parent goes and takes Living with the Land, right? So there's a lot of these really good opportunities happening in Epcot.
Yeah. Okay. So those are the things you don't want to miss in those front areas of the park: World Celebration, World Discovery, and World Nature. We are now going to talk about the main draw of Epcot beyond Guardians of the Galaxy, which is World Showcase. Of course, this is what sets Epcot so far apart from the other parks is World Showcase, all of the different pavilions that you have. The thing that people think about most is that what World Showcase is just this loop where you walk around the area and you get something to eat and drink in each country, and that's what it is. And that is true. That is a lot of what it is, and it is great. But it is also the reason a lot of adults, parents, people that haven't experienced it have a misunderstanding that their kids aren't going to like it because it's adult things and my kids don't want to walk around a loop and just eat and drink. It's not fun for them. And that is truly missing the point of each of these pavilions, right?
Totally.
Absolutely. In fact, so much of World Showcase exploration has been inspiring our kids to love things about different cultures, that it's inspired other family vacations to other destinations around the world. Lean into each of these pavilions, see what there is to do. And there are interactive things that if your kids want to be entertained as they're going around, there's multiple ways to entertain your kids as they're walking through World Showcase so that it's not just an eat and drink around the world tour.
Exactly. So the
Mhm,
one thing
mhm.
you're going to do that's better than just walking in a straight path is don't stay on the main walking path.
Mhm.
The main path that just loops the front of each pavilion. And often, because most times of the year there is a festival going on, often there is a booth of some sort set up on that main walking path that makes you feel like you don't need to explore inside the pavilion because you're like, oh, I could just grab my Italian street food right here and
Take a picture and leave.
right. And you don't
Yep.
want the festivals are great. We talk a lot about festivals on the show, but you don't want them to take away from actual experiencing of what each pavilion has to offer. So get off the main walking path,
Mhm.
things that your kids will love, things that people don't know exist or that they are skipping. Kid Cot, which is the passport exploration that you can do in each pavilion, has a Kid Cot stop. The Play
Mhm.
Disney app, which we recently talked about on another Epcot episode that we did, which Becki just totally enlightened me to. I had no idea existed. So much
Mhm.
fun. Are there scavenger hunts? Do you all know, are they festival specific or do you know of scavenger hunts that happen outside of festivals? Because I've only ever done the festival ones.
They're typically festival specific. However, I also have done an Easter egg one that I don't necessarily think was
Hmm.
tied to a festival. So
Yeah, I did too. I did that as well. So instead of, I guess, saying festival specific, they are event specific,
Seasonal?
seasonal specific. Yeah, I wouldn't say there's always a
Yeah.
scavenger hunt going on, but because of how often there are festivals or different holiday celebrations, things going on, you should be checking if there is a scavenger hunt because they're fun and there's usually a prize at the end.
mhm.
We did the flower garden one once and they had little plates they gave out as the prize at the end, which was fun.
Yeah.
Yes, it's so
Yeah.
good.
Yes.
It
And
really
it's
is.
fun because it starts introducing your kids to the more mascots and then not Mickey and Minnie, but Orange Bird and Figment. And you get
Mhm.
introduced to other things that are Disney referenced in these. Like we've done the Orange Bird one, we've done the Figment one, we have done what was that? Who was in the Easter egg? I forgot. I think at one I would love them to do a Frozen one. Could you imagine if they hid one of the little iguana guy from Frozen 2 around World Showcase? He's so cute.
Oh, it's funny that you picked the iguana
Mm.
because I was going to say like trolls or
Or
I don't know,
Frozen or Olaf. They could hide an Olaf around World
Mhm.
Showcase. Oh,
or
it's
just
so good.
snowflakes. They could do snowflakes in the winter. It's snowing in each country.
I wonder if they do one during the Festival of the Holidays.
I don't know.
I've never noticed.
Yeah. Anyway, it's worth noting that more than just walking on the main path to eat and drink, you're going to dive in with your kids, find out if there's a scavenger hunt. There's always Kid Caught. You're going to play within your app, and that's going to allow you to experience these places, but allow your kids to have fun while doing it.
I wanna build on that just a little bit more because I feel like people don't realize there's the My Disney Experience app. There is a separate app called the Play Disney app that you download. If I had known about the Play Disney app and the DuckTales game and World Showcase before on our first trip, that would have been my hack to exploring every country, right? Like that's how you get the kids involved in exploring the countries and making it really fun. And it is super fun. Like I kind of like doing it even just as an adult and being like, "Oh, hey, I just made that thing pop up over there." And then people are like, "How did that happen?" It is pretty fun. It's
It
Yeah,
is.
great.
really cool. So let's talk about some of the things that are going to change your mind about Epcot, more than just the snack and the drink you're going to get in each pavilion. Starting in Mexico, because that's the way we like to start, in Epcot, if you're coming from the main gates, the Grand Fiesta Boat Tour to me is skippable. We've talked about it before. If you're a family that's just at Disney World for the rides, which I know there are a lot of them, I think this is going to fall very underwhelming, and it might even add to your opinion on why Epcot is a skippable park when it's really not. You're like, oh, that ride wasn't very good. But exploring the shops and the marketplace in the pyramid and maybe having your sit down meal inside the pyramid and watching the boat go by, that might feel more of a right way to do that. And then I think I've even said before, the best way to experience the boat ride is to have a dining reservation, and just when you're waiting on your food to come, take your kids on the boat ride because it entertains them and it passes time.
That is a good way to do that for sure. See, there's another hack. You go
Mhm.
do this and take the kids to go do
Yeah,
that.
exactly. Exactly.
I would never call something remarkable that's not remarkable. But as a family who lived in Utah until 6 years ago, we just passed our 6th year of moving to Florida. And our cruising previous to that was mostly out of Los Angeles. And so we did that Riviera, Mexican Riviera cruise down to Cabo and Puerto Vallarta probably 4 times. And for that reason, the Fiesta boat tour always brings up memories for our family. So we do enjoy it, but if you don't have that connection, it's really just a boat ride that takes time and gives you air conditioning.
I like I said, I think it's part of the
Yeah.
problem. People saying like there has bad rides at Epcot, which is
Mm.
so far from the truth. Epcot, I think at this point is pulling rank and has maybe the best ride at Disney
Getting
World.
there.
Yeah.
It's getting there.
You know what I mean? I mean, they're almost all bangers except for this one. This is a good place to eat. It's kind of one of the smaller pavilions, in my opinion. You know, it doesn't have a lot of back roads to go explore, but going in the pyramid, shopping, and listening to like the mariachi band that will play right there by the, well, I've seen them by the water. Is that where you all have seen them?
Yeah.
Yeah. Stopping and listening, gosh, that's just so fun. And I have burned in memories of my girls dancing and my son just, I mean, he's like the best dancer of all. He's hilarious. It's just great.
It is. And you can usually meet Donald in the Mexico Pavilion as well, which is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think this is a fun place to meet Donald because I'm always in favor of any time a character is dressed a little differently. That's one thing that I think is great about character meals is they're always dressed on some sort of theme, and Donald in the Mexico Pavilion is top notch. He might be my favorite Donald.
Love it.
And then you're going to Norway, and most people see Norway as the home of the Frozen Ever After boat ride, which is true. And you got to do it. It's obviously you have to do it. One of the best rides with no height requirement in all of Disney. It's a banger. It's where you get to meet Anna and Elsa. You also have to do that. So you're automatically checking both of those things off of your list. But the thing about Norway to me is I am guilty of not really spending a lot of time experiencing Norway and mostly just experiencing Frozen and princesses. We're riding Frozen, eating breakfast at Akersjö, and we're meeting Anna and Elsa.
We go in that front building that looks like a Norwegian hut kind of thing. It's tall. Because our family has teenagers, inside of there is an exhibit that's focused on kind of Norse mythology. So it talks about Loki, it talks about Odin, it talks like, and so because we're a Marvel family, we love the connection to real mythology. I mean, is real in mythology a a counterproductive conversation, but it pulls on the mythology of that region. And that's a really great space if you need to escape the rain. There's like a banner that walks around that building, which is kind of cool to step in there and just kind of people watch for a few minutes. We go into the bakery and get Viking coffee. We also love, there's probably my very favorite DuckTales adventure in the Play Disney app is in the back of the the Norway Pavilion, the back of the Norway Pavilion.
Yes. That one is so good. Oh man. By the way, I could talk about this DuckTales game forever. Did you know that it changes every time, Becki? Sometimes you get clues that if you do it the next time, you didn't get that clue before.
Like in Germany, I think there's like 4 or 5 that are different ones that you could get while you're going. And so when I say my favorite one, maybe it's not one that you're going to get to do, but it has to do with the waterfall and a sword, and it's my favorite. I love it.
It's really good. I was going to say that too, so I'm so glad that you said it.
That's funny. Well, like I said, I am guilty of probably not doing Norway the right way. But there is plenty for you to do on the surface. And then if you take the time to dive in a little deeper, it's a great place to be. But this is like the most Disneyed out pavilion.
It
right?
really is. And I overlooked for way too long because we missed Anna and Elsa in Disney World because of having teenagers, just our age range. We never had that meet and greet. I actually sat in line for that. It was like a 20-minute wait. And I'm so glad we went in there. Walking through the line to meet Anna and Elsa is so much better than some of the other character meet and greet experiences. There's hidden things within the walls. It's beautiful.
You get like it looks like you're walking through almost like their house, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You get like pictures of them when they were little and things like that. It is a really cool meet and greet. I really enjoy it too.
But you're right, Ellie. It is very
And it's very
Disney-fied.
Disney-fied, and I don't think that meet and greet is something we have to tell our smarties to do. Guys,
True.
don't forget to meet Anna and Elsa. Like, duh, everybody's swinging in there, of course, of course.
Fact. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, the China Pavilion. Becki, you say this is a replica of the Temple of Heaven. I actually don't know what that is.
It's a structure in China, and it is on my son's list because Great Wall of China is so high. And you know what inspired him to want to go to the Great Wall of China is Soarin'. And so when I say we've been inspired to take other family vacations based on things we've seen in Epcot, he wants to go to China so bad. And the Temple of Heaven is one of those places that would be so incredibly cool to go and see. But I could be wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure that Danielle's son loves going and seeing Reflections of China, which is the 360-degree film in the China Pavilion.
I just did this with Danielle 3 weeks ago. It was great. Yeah. So we did the DuckTales game in China, and then we went into the big building. We walked up to Mulan. We got to meet and get pictures with Mulan, no line at all. Walked straight up to her. It was fantastic. And then we were like, kids, do you really want to see Reflections of China, or are we just doing this for an AC break? And they were like, no, like we really want to go see it. And so we went in, and I had never seen it before, and I was so impressed with it that it made me feel like I need to go see the world. What am I doing here?
This is Becki putting on teacher hat on. Kids are going to be as excited as you are about it. So if you're saying, do we really want to go see the Reflections of China? That they're going to be like, no, I don't want to go see it. But if you're like, guys, do we want to go learn about what China has to offer and some really cool things that's in their structure and like get excited about it? Go and look at some of the things that are in the lobby while you're waiting to go in. It's a 360-degree film. Where else are they going to see a 360-degree film? I'm a math teacher. Talk to them about why is it called a 360-degree film?
Yeah.
You don't have to be a teacher, but get your kids excited about these because it's going to inspire them to be curious about the world. And I just love it so much.
I think that's a great way to say like what's great about Epcot is it can inspire curiosity, and it also is going to bring great characters. It's going to bring great ride experiences. It's going to bring all the Disney, but it's also going to spark creativity and curiosity. And what more do you want out of a theme park visit? Hello?
As soon as you said it sparks creativity, I got chills. I was like, that's it. That's the vibe.
So, don't overlook that. I've never done it. I've never seen this. So I'm guilty of some of these things, and I still love and appreciate and understand this park, but I haven't seen Reflections of China. So obviously, I think if we're really talking about Epcot, is this one of the skippable things? Sure. But is it something that should be completely overlooked and not even considered? Absolutely not. Okay. Keep on walking. Becki, take us on our next little journey here.
This is hilarious stopping point in our journey around World Showcase. And it feels like such a missed opportunity. Like, come on, Disney. We want to have a Greek pavilion. We want to have, we want there to be another pavilion here. Right now, it's an outpost. Inside of this outpost, you cross a bridge from China over to this odd space. And in this odd space is really just kind of a refresher space. There are tables that are covered for you to sit and have a drink from the refreshment station. You can get your kid's face painted here. And during the festivals, some of the really unique items during the festivals get planted in this outpost area for shopping purposes.
It's really a breezeway. It's a pass through. You can find some fun little hidden gem things throughout there. A lot of people are buzzing past this. It feels like a bridge where you can get a soda between China and Germany. But there are some fun things if you want to take a minute, 10 minutes max, and you can go back in there and you can beat a drum and find something cool.
Yeah, I feel like that sums it up pretty well.
Yeah. Germany, to me, is defined because I love to drink wine. Love it. But I'm not a big beer drinker. So Germany, the German pavilion for me is defined by caramel and Snow White. So,
well, there you have it.
Tell me why caramel and Snow White are not the only defining moments of the German pavilion.
Because of the DuckTales app. No, not really, but really. There are really, really fun ones in there. But this caramel shop in the German pavilion, but not just the caramel shop. That's a great place that most people, you'll see the line, you'll smell the caramel. It's going to lure you in.
Disney's pulling you in. Yeah, they know what they're doing.
They do. Off to the side of that is a wishing well, where Snow White is going to be doing her meet and greet. But then if you go into the actual area of the German pavilion, it's a very small one. In fact, it might be the smallest of the actual pavilions. It's
Hmm.
pretty small. It's just a little courtyard, really. There is the beer garden restaurant, and in front of the beer garden restaurant, tucked behind a wall, is where that pretzel bread pudding, and you can grab, there's several places to get it, but that grapefruit beer, that is my very favorite. I'm not a beer drinker, but that grapefruit beer is amazing. And on a hot day, it's cold and it hits so well. Other than that, get your caramel corn, enjoy the German music. If it's a vibe, you're going to get yourself a 15-minute vibe check with some delicious popcorn and a nice cold
They're
beer.
like always playing polkas over there. I really like the shop that's in the Germany pavilion. There's a lot of really neat things in there that I feel like people pass by.
Hmm.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. And the photo, just the structures kind of in the German pavilion are really
Yeah.
beautiful.
Hmm.
So I have a really good friend who just loves different flavors of, just loves beer and lived in Germany for a
Hmm.
while. When we go to Disney together, she wants to spend some time back there tasting and trying and
Mm.
experiencing. And I don't want to take that from her. And so I will just sit kind of around that fountain, and it's a great
Yeah.
place just to
That
hang.
would be a cool hang.
But I guess the thing I want to say about the German pavilion is there are a lot of different ways to experience it the right way based on your priorities.
Hmm.
So I am there for Caramel, Snow White, and the train,
Hmm.
and the fountain to hang. And other people might be there for all those Disney things that I just said, as well as like Disneyfied things, right? As well as going in and trying the sausages and the beer. And it has this German life and music and entertainment, like you were just saying. And
Mhm.
so I think there are a lot of ways and a lot of reasons to experience it, which are, great to point out.
You know, something else I learned German, it's tradition, I guess I should say, is there's like a good Christmas area of the German pavilion. And
Mm.
in there, they sell the German pickle, which I had no idea what
Yes.
it was, but I guess it's a thing. And I had no idea. I learned it in the German pavilion in Epcot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have a German pickle.
Do you?
Do you
Yeah.
do the game for Christmas
Yeah.
morning?
We don't do it for Christmas morning, but we do. Are you talking about the hiding the pickle and
Yeah.
stuff?
You have to hide
Yeah,
the
so
pickle.
we just make it a game through the holiday season. We don't do it on the traditional Christmas morning, but we will just hide it, and nobody ever knows when somebody's going to hide it, and somebody will just say, "Hey, I hid the pickle," and and everybody has to find it. But yeah,
I
we have
like
one.
it. I like that.
Yeah,
That's
it's
cool.
fun. My sister-in-law actually did it growing up, and her first Christmas, like with the family, she bought us all one, so we would have them for our trees.
That is so
Aw.
nice.
Yeah. Okay, going into the Italy pavilion. This is where I'm gonna have my glass of wine. Italy is interesting. It's like the least Disneyfied pavilion, maybe.
Hmm.
Yeah, by a mile. I want more Disney. I was just gonna say, where's Pinocchio? That's all.
Yeah. The most Disney thing I've ever seen in the Italy pavilion was a chalk drawing of Luca
Hmm.
Yeah.
during the Festival of the Arts. Other than that, there's not a ride. There are not character meet and greets. There's no princess here. You really are here for the food and drink. You're here for the pizza, the pasta, and the wine.
Yeah. Of all of the pavilions, this is the one like, what am I missing in the Italy pavilion? Because I'm not necessarily a big wine drinker. I love tiramisu and I love gelato and I can get that. But the unfortunate piece is that's right there at the walkway. And so I might be guilty in Italy of missing,
Yeah.
like, I haven't eaten
Mhm.
it via Napoli and I need to. But from the other side of the pavilion, this is one of the ones that I do think go into the pavilion as you're walking by, but also this one, there's bridges that go out over the water. And Italy might be the most
Mhm.
beautiful when you go out to those bridges that overlook the lagoon.
One special thing that will happen is sometimes you'll have street performers back in the Italy pavilion and they'll really engage with your kiddos. So my kids got to be part of some sort of, I feel like it was a juggling act,
Hmm.
but they'll do different type games and things. Very fun, but that's the probably the most fun that your kids are going to have in that pavilion. And that's if you happen to have a street performer while you're walking through. I do think this is a faster stop if you're with your family. If I'm with adults, I'm going to probably go slower and have a glass of wine.
I have visited the shop there and found really cute Minnie Mouse clothes and stuff in the Italy pavilion. So I feel like the shop is worth popping into as well. But Italy is definitely the pavilion of probably all of them that I'm most tempted to kind of breeze by. And maybe Disney bring Pinocchio and Luca there, okay?
Yeah, it's food and drink for sure at the forefront.
Yeah, it's crazy to me though, because how many art-based things are from Italy? What an
Yes.
opportunity that they could have an art gallery or something to pull you back into
I
it.
still don't even think that many people.
Yes.
I don't think even that many people would go into an art gallery. I just don't. I think
That's fair.
Are you
I
kidding
love
me? I would. Air conditioning, if nothing else.
I get that, and I don't disagree. I just think in terms of a pavilion, it has the least to offer family fun
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah.
Although I love it.
Which is why they need Pinocchio.
Yeah, which I don't know if that's going to draw a whole lot of people like you keep saying, but it might. There is a Pinocchio ride at Disneyland, and it's quite fun. So maybe they could do something like that. Are you looking to save on your transportation from your arrival to your destination when you travel to Orlando? Well, keep listening because we're going to save you some money. If you're planning your next trip to Disney, you've probably asked in some sort of online community, what's the best way to get from the airport to the resort? Well, let me help you out. MCO to Disney is the way to go. From the moment you book, they make things easy and stress-free. The day before your trip, you're going to get a personalized message with your driver's contact info, your travel details confirmed, and everything set up for you so that you can have a relaxing time and simply focus on the magic ahead. When you land, your driver is there waiting at baggage claim, holding a sign with your family name, ready to welcome you, just like the family that you are. Your vehicle will be spotless and your car seats already installed just how you requested them. And if you need a grocery stop, they've got you covered for no extra charge. But here's what makes them even more special. It's not just transportation. NCO to Disney knows it's the first moment of your vacation where your memories begin. So no crowded shuttles, no multiple stops, just you, your family, your time, and your ride straight into the magic. Start your Disney vacation the right way with peace of mind, comfort, and service designed to help you create unforgettable memories from the moment you land. Visit mco2disney.com. That's the number 2, mco2disney.com, and use code SMARTMOMS, one word, all caps, at checkout to save 10% on all transportation. Okay, the American Pavilion, the American Adventure has I think the main thing you're going to want to do there is live entertainment, right? Hit the live entertainment and hear the Voices of Liberty. Those are going to be the two massive standouts to me. And they have that character alley, and there's more often than not 4 or 5 characters meeting down there, and a lot of times they're rare characters, which is really fun. That's over by the Regal Eagle. So you do have that opportunity, but to me, the standout things that you want to try to make time for are some live entertainment and the Voices of Liberty, which are also live entertainment, but different from the main stage.
This is just sort of a fun fact, but the Voices of Liberty in the America Pavilion was not supposed to be a permanent attraction kind of thing. Did you guys know that?
Mm-mm.
Ronald Reagan was there as a president, and they were like kind of touring him around Epcot, and he was leaving the building right whenever they were performing the Battle Hymn of the Republic, and he was like, this is the best thing in Epcot. And that is what saved the Voices of Liberty and kept it going, because this was at a time whenever a cappella groups weren't really like a thing, right? And so can you imagine the America Pavilion without the Voices of Liberty?
No.
No, I could not. Going in and just hearing them sing in like the lobby, if that's where you hear them sing, or if you hear them sing during the candlelight procession during the Festival of the Holidays, no matter when you're there, there's going to be likely some kind of live production happening at that pavilion stage. And the stage is pretty beautiful. It brings lots of different things. During the art festival, you're going to hear the Broadway performers singing, and they're typically going to be Disney shows. So, like one from Newsies, one from Aladdin, from Beauty and the Beast, from Lion King. So really, really great that way. But then when you move into Flower and Garden, you get Garden Rocks. When you move into the Food and Wine Festival, you get Eat to the Beat. And then when it's the Christmas season, you're getting Candlelight Procession. So always amazing, amazing live entertainment happening there.
So mostly I think the American Pavilion looked at for entertainment.
Yeah, but don't skip Regal Eagle. It's a really great place to eat if you're into barbecue.
Well, I'm having a hard time recommending food right now because we're not doing an itinerary, and you could say this for every pavilion. Like
yes,
it's like don't miss this food, don't miss that food. Like the this not that of food in Epcot is really where are you in your day? What sit down did you plan, and what food do you like? Right. So if you like barbecue and you're hungry while you happen to be walking through the American Pavilion, definitely eat Regal Eagle. But there are great options sandwiching both sides of that if you don't eat Regal Eagle.
100%.
So the draw to me for today's conversation, of course, is going to be that live entertainment.
Yeah.
And plug easily if you are more interested in dining in Epcot. We have a table service and a quick service episode that dive deep into all of that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Don't get your dining recommendations here. Get them on the other episode.
Mhm.
So the next pavilion is Japan, and I think it is really similar to Italy because again, you don't have a character meet and greet, you don't have a ride. You are really food, drink, and shopping. The shop is fun. My kids like going in that Japanese shop. There's really cool toys. There's like a Japanese toy store, which is fun to go in. I think people don't really know about that one, and I think it's worth going in. And they have some Japanese candies and things.
Mitsukoshi is like the Walmart of Japan. It's kind of
Okay, yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it is. And it's worth walking in. But again, I do think this is one of those pavilions that you're there for the food and drink. And honestly, I don't really like sake.
Mhm.
Oh, I do like sake.
Yeah, so for me, like walking through Italy means a glass of wine, and I love that so much. But walking through Japan, I'm not getting that. And so unless I'm eating at Takumi Tai or Teppanyaki, if I'm pronouncing both of those even correctly,
I think it's Teppanyaki, but I could
yeah,
be wrong.
Teppanyaki. I think you might be right. Unless I'm eating at one of those places, we honestly are probably breezing through the Japan pavilion personally.
I think that that's a misstep
You're
because
probably right. You're probably right.
I just am that hot mess mom that's walking around Epcot and my kids are having like the meltdowns, right? Like that. If you know Katie, that's just me. Please come still say hi if you see me. I still want to say hello, but my kids are going to be who they are. Anyway,
Yep.
Japan is sort of this pavilion that as we were approaching it, in my mind, I'm like, there's nothing in Japan I really need to go explore. And then I'm like, oh, wait, I'm wrong. If they're doing the traditional Japanese drum show while you're walking by, my kids will happily stop and dance and enjoy the entire show. If you take the time to go and look at they have like this beautiful stream that has like the bamboo little, I
Yes.
don't know what you call them, but there's a lot to go and explore there.
Like a Zen garden
Yes.
and a koi pond. Like this is the piece in an amusement
Yes.
park. There is such beautiful quiet spaces in the Japan pavilion. Also in the shop you can open an oyster and find a pearl and then have it set to make something special. Like there's
I'm so glad you just mentioned that because that is one thing that I just forgot about that is back there that is a hidden gem that if you're not a smarty listening to this, you may pass right by. And that is a cool, I
Mhm.
am always looking for a cool souvenir. I don't want to buy my kids a plastic toy they can get at World of Disney or just the Disney store. I don't want to do it. And if I can buy a pick a pearl, that is what I am looking for as a mom.
And even if you're
Mhm.
not investing in it, having your kids watch them open it and see a pearl
Hmm.
coming out naturally. Like it's really, really cool. And then don't forget the
Mhm.
view from the Japan Pavilion with the archway in the actual lagoon looking at
Yes.
Spaceship Earth. It is an easily overlooked walk through breezeway, but you could easily spend at least 20 minutes exploring and having a moment of peace. And if you go to Japan, Japan is a much, much calmer society. Like when you get on the subway, it's not loud and bustling. It's everybody is quiet and keeping to themselves and being very almost reverent. So it's
Hmm.
very, very different from every other pavilion.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Good notes there. Good notes. And I think it's important that when you're thinking about World Showcase, people are always saying, my kids won't like it because it doesn't have rides. I actually love that the banger rides, Remy and Frozen, are really bookended
Hmm.
opposite ends of the
Mhm.
circle so that you will discover these lesser known off path type things as you're walking between the rides. Remember, we say all the time, the magic happens between the moments that you thought were going to matter most, right? And
Yes,
so you're
yes.
going to love those rides, of course, but you're going to love all this stuff as well. So that brings you to Morocco. I have a long history with Morocco because my mom has always loved Morocco. That has always been her favorite pavilion. So I can just remember my whole life going to Epcot and really spending time in Morocco and Morocco really mattering. And Morocco to me is maybe the most beautiful of the pavilions. Those mosaic walls are just gorgeous. And then they have honestly, the markets look like you're in Aladdin. You know,
Mhm.
they really look like those markets that Jasmine is exploring. And you can, of course, meet Aladdin and Jasmine. Aladdin too, yeah.
Sometimes.
Sometimes Aladdin, but always Jasmine. They have belly dancer performers, really good Moroccan food if that's your thing.
Yeah.
I like this pavilion a lot.
The bazaar, the shopping center
Yes, the bazaar.
feels just like Morocco. Like I've been
Mhm.
to Morocco in real life, inspired by going to Epcot again. All
Mhm.
of those
Mhm.
things, stepping into the bazaar and going back and getting the sangria for two back there, There is a fountain back there that people go back and like make wishes at. It's a beautiful space, common to take pictures back there. Again, getting out of the hustle and bustle, stepping in to like that Moroccan home area that you can go in and explore. It has like the pillars, it has the beautiful tiles. There is some art in there. It also talks about like what sports in Morocco is, and so there's a lot of learning that can happen inside of this pavilion beyond just look at it and it's beautiful.
I think whenever we go to Epcot today, Morocco is going to be probably my priority because this is the one that I have explored the least. We still haven't met Jasmine there. I think that has to be high on our to-do list today.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And post a picture on the podcast Instagram so we can all see it. And I just think this one is, again, it's not about the rides that you're experiencing with your kiddos, but it is about the beauty and the quietness. This is where you can go for some shade and a break. I mean, I needed a space to work. We were at Epcot together a few years ago, and I needed a quiet space to work. And I went to Morocco, right? I was like, I'm going to go back to Morocco. I know there's going to be a big open, quiet space where I can get this done. So, don't overlook it. Fun place to just at least go back in. And then you're going to hit the banger pavilion of pavilions, in my opinion.
This is the one.
This is the one. France has the most to explore, I think. It goes back the deepest. You have like 2 streets to explore, multiple restaurants. You can get crepes, you can get food. The Chefs de France is now going to start offering brunch on select days. I'm beyond pumped. I am going to go to that brunch. I cannot wait. Actually, when we're together, I think I'd like to prioritize that brunch.
I'm down. It's good.
This is where Remy is. This is obviously a high priority ride for families, one of the greatest non-height requirement rides in all of Disney World. I have said that twice now, which means that Epcot is home to 2 of the best of those rides. So just for those parents with little ones, keep that in mind. But it also has a sing-along and then a million shops. So from champagne tasting to toddler rides, and literally everything in between. This, I don't think we have to convince many people to stop and explore.
Truly. And character meet and greets. Sometimes you can have multiple characters in France. You could have Belle and Aurora. Yep.
Yep. They usually alternate. One will be at the pavilion while the other one's over on the walkway on the opposite side of France. Yeah.
I almost think this is one of those ones because we're saying you might think this pavilion is this, but it's really about this, and that's what we've said for the rest. I think France is exactly what people think it is. I think they're going to go in and have the ice cream, and they're going to have the crepe, and they're going to have the champagne, and you're going to ride Remy. It's just an awesome place. I love it so
And the
much.
Beauty and the Beast sing-along is not comparable to the Frozen sing-along in Hollywood Studios, but it is a place you can go, and if you have a Beauty and the Beast lover, it's an alternate version of the Beauty and the Beast tale, like from a different perspective, which I think is kind of cool. Even if you're just using it for a 20-minute air conditioning break, or sometimes throughout the day, they'll sprinkle in the Impressions de France video. I think during summer, they're not doing that, but in general, that one actually is what inspired me to go to Mont Saint-Michel in the outskirts of France. So really inspiring things can be taken from there.
My kids love the DuckTales game in this one.
My This Not That for the France pavilion is going to be, you're going to walk through the pavilion, and right when you're there, you're going to see the frozen slushy stand. And your mistake is going to be to stop right away and get one. You're going to go explore the pavilion and ride, and then get one and take it with you to UK, unless you're going to get 2. Then you can get one at the beginning and one at the end. But if you're going to get only one, I say get it on your way out so you can take it on the road with you. Take a little bit of France with you.
Which is your favorite?
Lemon.
Oh, and mine's orange. Oh,
I like the orange one too.
I think everybody likes the orange. I'm the only person that's out there in the world buying lemon.
Let's assume that you can only get like one drink thing in France. Are you getting the champagne flight, or are you getting the lemon or orange cocktail?
That's going to depend on who I'm with. If I'm with my family, I'm going to grab a slushie because I just grab and go. If I'm with my friends, I'm taking the moment to make the memory and have the champagne flight. I've never stood around that table in France drinking the flight and not had a great time.
Yeah.
But with my kids there, it's way less fun. They don't want to stand there while we sample champagne. Like, that's torture for them.
Yeah,
They're
facts.
mad. So I don't do that. But I would grab a slushie and take it on the road.
Yep.
I mean, I'll do that either way, but okay. So yeah, spend the time in France, obviously. We're going to walk down that bridge up and over. By the way, this is where the international gate is. If you're coming in, the international gate that we talked about at the beginning of the episode, it is between the UK and France. We're kind of breezing past it right now to get to the UK. I think this pavilion is about the gardens, the characters, the shops, and the music.
It's such a hard one because it's one of my very favorite pavilions, but I don't even know how to say what it is about it that I love. It's probably the live music. Stacy brought me on to caring about
Yep.
band. Guys, what's the name of the band? I just slipped my brain.
Command
Command
performance.
performance.
Command Performance. Yes, yes. Stacy turned us on to Command Performance. And I've watched it probably 5 times since Stacy introduced it. And it is a different show every single time. I love the little hidden maze hedges back in the back of the pavilion. I love going back to the back and going into Christopher Robin's bedroom and meeting Winnie the Pooh because I'm going to get Allie there. She's going to fall
We've
in love with
done
him.
that.
You haven't?
We need to do that today too. Yeah, we always miss Winnie the Pooh, right? We get there right as soon as Winnie the Pooh's done. I gotta
Yes.
prioritize that today too. Maybe I'm taking the other way around. Maybe I'm not going to Mexico first. Maybe I'm going to Canada.
Start in Canada today. Start in Canada today.
Yeah, maybe you should. That would be an interesting day. Just you're gonna do an upside down Epcot. You're gonna go the backwards route. You're gonna do things you
Yeah,
haven't
let's
done.
do it.
Or what Becki calls normal Epcot.
You're-
Start in Canada.
There you go.
You're gonna do Mission Space orange
Listen,
instead of green.
when I was writing the order that we were doing these, I started in Canada, and then it took me until France before I realized, oh, Allie and Katie are going to boycott me, saying that I can't start in Canada. So I had to flip flop the order we were talking about these things.
Well, I do want to talk about it in this order, but I have always made a case for starting in Canada because Mexico is tequila, and that's usually a better way to end your time than start it. I'm probably alone in saying that. Most people are probably like, "You're crazy. Start with the tequila." That sounds like a lot.
The first time I had a margarita in the Mexico pavilion, I was like, oh, this is why people start in Mexico. It's so they can tolerate the rest of the day.
Yeah, it's not true. And then we end in Canada, which I don't know.
Wait a minute. We can't go to Canada yet. I'm still in the United Kingdom. We have had really cool photo ops and character meets here. In addition to Winnie the Pooh, you can sometimes meet Alice. Alice will meet out under the trellis. They have a really cool photo op where you can hold the Tinkerbell lantern there
Under
as
the
well.
twinkly lights in the garden.
Yes.
Yes.
There's a lot to appreciate in the UK pavilion, and me, Becki, and Carla have caught the fireworks show in the UK pavilion, and it was spectacular.
It's what changed Carla's mind about whether she liked it or not, was watching from there.
For sure.
You all should have seen Allie just roll her eyes. I think I could hear her eye roll. Do not miss it. Do not miss it. And this was, we watched over by where the tables are just off of the fish and chips area. And it was a really great place for us to have a great view. We walked up fairly last minute and really, really enjoyed it. We have also met Peter Pan in the UK pavilion. And inside of the store, if you have any kind of heritage in your family that's tied to that area of the world, you can get a crest. You can create a family crest, and you can also learn about the history of your family's last name. So really cool things.
Yeah, all great stuff. Go back there and have those experiences. That is all very fun. And I would just like to defend myself and say, I have never said to skip Epcot's fireworks. I've just said that they are not the best show, and that if it's your only like, definitely see them because they're fireworks and I love fireworks. But I'm just here to say it's not happily ever after, and you tried to say it was.
Wait a minute. You just, I'm waiting for the Smarties to come fact check you because I'm pretty sure you have said to skip it.
No, I said it was overrated, and I stand by that. And I also was mad when you said it was better than Happily Ever After. It's not.
I have never said it was better than Happily Ever After.
Oh God, I'm not going down this
than Happily Ever After.
One of the hosts on this show that is no longer my friend said that. We're not friends anymore because they said it was better than Happily Ever After. I don't remember which one of you it was, but that's where I'm going with it.
Okay.
Oh, and don't forget to get your picture in the red phone booth. Have to plug that.
Oh yeah, get your picture in the phone booth for sure. Yeah. Okay, you all did a good job bringing the UK stats. There's a lot back there. The family crest thing is as cool as the pearl thing, in my opinion.
I have been to Scotland, and in the shop, there's a small area that's dedicated to Scotland. And whenever I walk into that shop, first of all, that's where I buy all my Beatles merch. I'm a huge Beatles fan. But whenever I walk into that shop, they have this fragrance area where you can buy perfumes from that area. And as soon as I smell that perfume, I am transported back to Scotland in 2011. Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
All right, we're stepping to Canada, which I'm coming in my buffalo plaid today. Not because I slept in this. Yes, I did sleep in this, and I happen to be recording in jammies today. I love Canada. I love Canada, the actual place. We've been to 3 different cities, and I love Canada, the pavilion. It's not something that we always spend too much time in, but I do think that it is beautiful.
I think it's kind of funny that when we were talking about China, you said, where else can your kids see a 360
I'm
film?
in the world. Where can they see a 360 film?
Oh, okay. Because I'm like, also can't. I'm like,
Yes.
also Canada.
We have 2 360-degree films in Epcot. The second one is the Canada Far and Wide. It's in the Canada Pavilion. And I love that the walk back to see the 360 film is taking you through 2 things. One, you're walking down like waterfalls and totems, and that is very Canada. And then second, the other path to get back there is taking you through the Victoria Gardens, which would be like the Butch Art Gardens that are in Victoria, which is a miniature version, very, very miniature version of the actual Butch Art Gardens, but beautiful nonetheless. So if you love flowers and it's not Flower and Garden Festival, this is a place that you can lean in and appreciate the beauty of gardening.
Yeah, not flower and garden time of year. Probably, correct me if I'm wrong, the best nature areas, China, UK, Canada.
Garden wise, I would say so. Yeah, it's all beautiful. And don't skip maple popcorn if you aren't a caramel popcorn person. I would choose caramel over maple every single time, but the maple popcorn is a unique variation that's only available in the Canada Pavilion.
Yeah, Canada's good for a unique snack like that. And again, this is one of those that is very pavilion forward, not Disney forward. And I just want to say that we've said that about a few. I don't intend that to be a bad thing. I don't mean that to say that's a bad thing. I'm just trying to identify that I think Disney did a good job balancing this pavilion is very Disneyfied, this one is not, and you can really find and explore unique things in each one and appreciate the fact that they're not all Disneyfied. You don't want a world showcase explosion of just the Disneyfied version. That would be frankly awful. And so I'm really glad that we were able to kind of identify which of them were more Disney forward and which were not, and how you can experience the best of each pavilion.
While you were talking, something else came to my mind about Canada in particular. A tip is if you buy the refillable popcorn bucket, you can actually refill with maple popcorn for just the $2 whatever that it costs to refill. So a good across your vacation tip.
That's a good tip.
My husband's favorite place to get steak in the entire world is Le Cellier. And he and I had an Epcot date like 3 years ago, whenever we moved down here to Le Cellier, and he has been begging to go back ever since. And I'm like, when are we going to prioritize that date night at Le Cellier again? Because that was so
It's such a good one.
Yeah. All right. All good points. I want to go to World Showcase. I'm so jealous that you actually are today, Katie. That's amazing.
Oh, listen, my family, we are coming into our Disney stride because my oldest, Bella, is finally getting past her shy riderness because Tally is my 4-year-old. She's finally tall enough to ride Guardians and Test Track. So that inspired Bella to try them again. And now she's not so much of a shy rider anymore. So she is begging today to hit Guardians and Test Track. And I'm like, yes, let's go.
Yeah.
Love that for you.
It is seriously like the best when your kids are big enough to. I literally ran around Disneyland with my kids. It was freaking awesome. I'm not kidding. Like we were in it together. You know, it didn't feel like me toting them around. I mean, we were a posse of people just running around and having the best time. It was so great.
We have to do an episode about Disneyland that lets you debrief all of those things because you had some pretty awesome, very special situations happen that we have to share with us Smarties.
Yeah, I loved it. Okay. Love Epcot. I'm glad we broke it down this way. We're going to take a quick break, listen to Friend Like Me. Make sure you're actually following these friends that are like us out there in the world because we love them and they do a good job. And we think that you should be in their communities, engaging and following and just seeing and exploring. So listen up, hit follow. Make sure, by the way, you are liked, subscribed, and following all of the Smart Moms Plan Disney podcast platforms. And when we come back, we're going to do some fun trivia. Thinking about driving to Disney? Then you need to join our friend Sarah on Facebook at Road Trips and Disney Tips. Real-time road trip routes, travel stops, and snack spots. The best gas station, the best coffee, the cleanest bathrooms. Families actually recommend on your trip and on your route to Orlando. Honest advice and feedback from the people who have done it dozens of times. You may even find fun little off-road adventures when you're in this group. Road Trips and Disney Tips on Facebook. Are you looking for a place to laugh about your Disney addiction or even just your mom life? You want to join our friend McKinley Frazier at Magic with Mickey and Me on Instagram. Humorous reels and content all about her Disney addiction and her mom life. But the real place to connect with McKinley is in her stories, where you can follow along with her trips in real time, but also get a glimpse of her everyday life as a mom in Western Texas, learning some insider travel tips and laughing along the way. That's McKinley Frazier at Magic with Mickey and Me on Instagram.
Do you want me to host trivia since I already know the answers?
Smarties already know from the Wilderness Lodge trivia that Stacy and I don't know, we're quite a duo when it's just the two of us. And I like to pretend like I am really good at trivia. The reality is I'm not, but I'm so competitive and I want to pretend. So Becki, go ahead and host. I am scared and I might make a fool of myself, but let's go.
But that's the thing about it is trivia is the kind of thing that if you don't know, you don't know. And once you know, then it's in your useless trivia bank.
Ugh.
So it's going to be great.
God,
All right.
I don't know, because I think if you asked me every Wilderness Lodge trivia question again right now,
You probably still don't know.
I probably still don't know. Yeah.
Well, trivia in general is something that I truly love. I think it is so much fun to do trivia with your friends. If you haven't done trivia with your family, make a trivia night. It's so fun, whether they're littles or they're older. So let's jump in and let's see how big of a smarty you all are. Whether it's you, our co-host, Allie and Katie, or whether we're talking to you as a smarty who's listening. Let's see if you can get it before them and if you get it right. First one. I feel like this is an easy one, but maybe it's not. What year did Epcot officially open?
Allie knows this one.
I don't. I think it wasn't open when I was born. I feel like I've said that before, but I feel like it wasn't long after. Do you know, Katie?
I don't know, but I was going to guess 1980, and now you're making me second guess that.
Recently, they celebrated 40 years.
I was going to say 82 or 83.
1982, it is. It is the exact same age. Yes, it's the exact same age as my hubby. They turned 40 the same year.
Yeah, I knew it was a little younger than me, which is crazy.
Wait, it's older than you. Aren't you like...
Oh my God, wait, what am I saying? We have to do that all over. I just talked like I was born the year Xander was born.
I'm like, it's older than you.
Oh my God, I just did that.
Older than you.
We have to do that all. I just did that whole thing from the perspective that I was born in 80.
Let's take a moment to acknowledge that Allie has had an out-of-body experience.
I don't even know what I'm
thinks
doing
that
anymore.
She is turning 45 this year.
Ugh,
This is your
okay.
level of tired this week.
Just leave it. Just leave it in. Just leave it in.
I did say it's older than you because what year are you born, Ellie? 86 or 87 would be my guess. 88.
88.
Yeah. It was 6 when you were born.
Yeah, 88.
I was just so confident that I was born in 1980.
All right.
I have no idea what's going on. Okay.
Next
Go
question.
ahead.
What does Epcot? It is an acronym. What does it stand for?
Prototype Community of Tomorrow. Something experimental prototype community of tomorrow.
Exactly. That is exactly what it stands for. And Walt actually envisioned that this was going to become a actual city, and it never turned into that. But he really thought that this Epcot was going to be a real city.
Yeah.
Which, if you want to see a city that is like what I think Walt would envision a city, go to Celebration, Florida. That's not too far away. It is really, really cool, especially at Christmas time.
It's really Stepfordy, isn't it?
It is very much, very much. But the level that they go to in decorating for Christmas time and their little community center, oh, I love it.
Yeah, we drove through Celebration when I was younger one time.
If you're listening, I want to know if you write out Epcot, is it okay to make it a capital E and then PCOT as lowercase, or does it have to be all capital EPCOT? Because this is a debate.
Because it changed. It was one way and it officially changed to another way.
We have a team divided on this.
All right, teacher.
Because the reality is, if it was all of the acronym, it should be capital EPC, lowercase o, capital T, because of is never capitalized in acronyms. Next one, Cinderella's Castle. You guys had this question on the right way to do Magic Kingdom. Cinderella's Castle is 189 feet. Congratulations, Katie, on knowing that off the top of your head. What is the exact height and feet of Spaceship Earth? Is it bigger than Spaceship Earth? Smaller than Spaceship Earth?
Can't be bigger because it would need a radar thing for flight on it. So it can't be bigger.
Okay. So how tall do you think it is?
Katie, you guess first.
I don't actually know this one. I'm going to guess I don't know, 179 feet.
I was gonna guess 176. So I wanted you to say your number first because I didn't want to sound completely in a ballpark that was insane.
Allie's like, it's 10 feet tall.
I know. Exactly. That could happen. And I was born in 1980.
It is 180 feet, only 9 feet
Yes.
smaller
Okay.
than Cinderella's castle.
180 feet.
There was a time whenever it did have to have the red beacon thing for the FAA laws, whenever they had the Mickey arm.
Oh, I loved that thing. And remember that ad where Mickey was standing on top of Spaceship Earth? Ooh, that was scary.
Good thing that Mickey was less than 9 feet taller. He would have had to have a radar on top of his head.
Can you imagine?
All right.
That's funny.
All right. What is the name of the nighttime spectacular that ran from 1999 to 2019? It closed right before COVID.
I know this. This show meant a lot to
Mhm.
my family. My dad was a fireworks guy. I've talked about it a lot, and he was floored at the technology in this show. Illuminations. We loved the music. He tried to find a lot of that music after we went just to have, and he could not find it anywhere. And then he wanted to have it just to listen to. Fun fact, we still listen to some of that when we're on hold as Smart Moms agents, when we're
Mhm.
calling Disney. Some of that music is Illuminations music. We went back in 2019, the year it was closing. We had
Aw.
not seen it in a really long time, and we went back to make sure we got one last look. And I got like an Illuminations farewell shirt because I love that show so much. And it wasn't very good. It was outdated at that point. So good that they replaced it, but it held nostalgia for me. So I have the shirt, and I'm so glad I do.
I love that. It is Illuminations Reflections of Earth. And I think there are still pieces that they have held on in the current show. It's definitely not the same show. And it's not even like on the same scale. It's very different shows, but Illuminations was a really, really great one. I can't believe it was there for 20 years. The Globe.
The globe,
Yes.
the globe that came and lit up and opened.
Opened.
I mean, it was beautiful. Really, really nice.
And we're looking at Katie's face and she's like, no frame of reference.
You didn't see it. Yeah.
Nope, clueless.
It's a cool show. Lasers. There were some laser technology going on.
Mm-hmm.
It was outdated by 2019.
For sure.
But fun time while it was there.
All right, next one. Why does water not run or drip off the bottom of Spaceship Earth when it's raining? It should, right? Science says it should hit the ball and it should roll down and it should just puddle at the bottom, but it doesn't. Why doesn't it?
Okay, so I've never thought about this.
I know this one.
I imagine that there must be some sort of drain system, but the realistic answer that's coming to my mind is there has to be some creative drain system that's working and pulls the water underneath. My not realistic answer is it's just Disney.
It's magic, so you don't even have to think about it.
It's just the Disney magic.
Yeah, of course. But what is the truth? Katie, what's the truth?
All those triangles
Yeah.
that make up the sphere, there's channels around those triangles. So, right? So the water hits it, but it goes down the triangle channels and then it funnels it away. Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
exactly right. Their hidden drainage system that captures it and then it puts it into the World Showcase Lagoon. So, exactly.
I'm so glad I got close there. Man,
That's exactly
Good
right.
job.
that feels really accomplished.
And I had never even thought about it either, despite this being my very favorite icon of all of the parks. And Macy, while she's on her Disney College program, she learned this and taught me that. So very cool. All right, next one. Name one place that serves food that is grown in Living with the Land.
Garden Grill.
Very good. Anywhere else?
I think all of the restaurants in Epcot serve food that's grown in.
Seasonally, there is rotation.
Whenever you go to like the outdoor kitchens around a festival, they'll usually have a sign up. Yeah.
The only other one that does full time around the year is the Sunshine Seasons, is always serving fresh food from Living with the Land. Last one. Epcot is home to the fastest Disney World ride. What ride is it, and what is the max speed?
I know the answer to this, but I have a lot of opinions about it. Do you know, Allie?
Well, it's got to be Test Track when it does the speed test, and it goes 0 to 70.
Not 70. It is Test Track, though.
Yeah, 0 to, I don't know what the speed is.
It's like 65. You can get it to like 65.1 or
Oh,
something.
you all looked at me like I was insane when I said 70. I wasn't that far
No,
off.
most people only get to 64.9. That is the most common speed. But if you are lucky and the weight is balanced just right and all of the things, you can hit 65.1 miles per hour.
And it shows you how fast you're going when you
Correct.
do that test.
Yeah, it actually shows that.
I have read before that because I once looked up, my brother and I, we just get interested in things. Sometimes we'll look it up. And one time, one of us was like, what do you think the 5 fastest rides at Disney are? And when I searched that, like in just a Google search or whatnot, you know what was on there as the fastest? or among the fastest in the top 5.
Depends on when you looked. Tron
I
is,
think Test Track was always number 1, but in the top 5 was like Summit Plummet at Blizzard Beach.
Oh, I believe that.
I
yeah.
could see that.
Yeah, and then Rock and Roller Coaster, and Test Track always being number 1.
Summit Plummet, just to clarify, is a body slide. It's like a near vertical body slide.
Yes. And you pick up almost enough speed to be one of the fastest attractions at Disney.
Interesting.
But what kills me about this, I was like, Tron has absolutely the fastest launch. You get this feeling in your stomach like, whenever you launch on Tron. And I was like, it's got to be Tron. But then I was like, it's not the fastest coaster, though. It's just probably the fastest launch.
I wouldn't be surprised if Guardians launch is similar to Tron's. The one when you're jumping backwards, it jumps you pretty quick. I don't know if it's going to go that fast, but actually I just looked it up. And if this is correct, it says Test Track at 65, Guardians of the Galaxy 60, Tron at 59, Rock and Roller Coaster at 57, and Expedition Everest at 50.
Yeah, and all of that kind of tracks to me. I just get mad about Test Track because it's only fast for that one curve.
Yeah.
You know, and the rest of these are like thrilling most of the time, and this one is just that one curve. And it's fun. Really fun. Like, that's a really fun stretch, but I don't know. Okay. Really good trivia, Becki. Did not embarrass myself as much as I thought I would once we got past the first question.
What year were you born again, Allie? Not 1980.
Oh, okay. Well, I hope that you all are not going to skip Epcot, that you are going to appreciate it for all of the hidden moments, the obvious moments, and everything in between. Go to the things, experience the things, and don't skip it because you are misinformed and think your kids won't like it. That is just not true. That is going to do it for us on another episode of the Smart Moms Plan Disney podcast. And until next time, we'll see you real soon.